Hello and welcome. You're watching Today in Parliament with me, Aishwarya, and here are the headlines. Short duration discussion slated in Rajya Sabha on price issue of essential commodities and petroleum products. Discussion listed in Lok Sabha's business on natural calamities. Bill seeking to prevent trafficking of persons, especially women and children, on agenda in Rajya Sabha. Two bills related to education reforms also in the list of business for the day in the upper house. Four bills in Lok Sabha's list of business today. Health Minister J.P. Nadda to move Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2016 and the National Medical Commission Bill 2017. It is the third day of the second week of the winter session, and in the Rajya Sabha's list of business today are two bills on education sector reforms, including the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2018 and the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2018. The Representation of the People Amendment Bill 2018 and the Trafficking of Persons Prevention, Protection and Rehabilitation Bill 2018 are also listed on the agenda in the upper house. And in the Lok Sabha, the Consumer Protection Bill 2018, the New Delhi International Arbitration Centre Bill 2018, the National Medical Commission Bill 2017 and the Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2016 are listed in today's business. And in the Rajya Sabha today, a short duration discussion is slated. The Leader of the Opposition, Ghulam Nabi Azad, Anand Sharma, Bhuvneshwar Kalita, Manoj Kumar Jha, Binoy Viswan, Misha Bharti, K.K. Ragesh, Javed Ali Khan and Vandana Chavan will raise a discussion on the rise in the prices of essential commodities and petroleum products in the upper house. And in the Lok Sabha, a discussion under Rule 193 is listed. Bhartruhari Mahatab and P. Venugopal will raise a discussion on natural calamities in various parts of the country, particularly in Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Odisha, with special reference to cyclones like Gaja, Titli, etc. My colleague Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from Parliament. Kriti, now the government has listed four bills under its legislative agenda in the Rajya Sabha, and these bills have already been passed by the Lok Sabha, and three of them are pending since the start of the session. There is also a short duration discussion over the issue of price rise of essential commodities. What can we expect in the upper house today?
Well, Aishwarya, day before, only Chairman Venkaiah Naidu had clarified that important notices on discussion on important issues would be admitted under relevant rules. In fact, yesterday he also informed the House that most of the notices tendered by the members have been accepted, and he had also urged the members to engage in meaningful debate and dialogue. And of course, today there's a short duration discussion on price rise, which is moved by Leader of Opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad. But over the last 5 days, we've just seen disruptions in the House over Kaveri and Rafale issue. But remember, today important bills are lined up. So there's the NCTE amendment bill that is to grant retrospective recognition to institutions notified by the central government not covered under the present law. This is a one-time measure to ensure that the future of students enrolled in these institutions is not jeopardized. There's also the right of children to free and compulsory education to extend the deadline to acquire prescribed qualification, and there's also the Representation of People Amendment Bill to ensure that the overseas electors can appoint proxies to cast their votes. So heavy legislative agenda as far as the Rajya Sabha is concerned. So it has to be seen how a consensus is evolved among political parties to ensure that this session becomes a productive one. Aishwarya?
And Kriti, as far as lower house is concerned, yesterday there was no legislative business that could be transacted. I think only one question was taken up in the question hour. And today there are two key bills related to the health sector. The Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2016, the National Medical Commission Bill, also discussion on natural calamities slated to take up.
Well, Aishwarya, you've seen disruptions in the Lok Sabha as well. And in fact, yesterday, Speaker of Lok Sabha gave a very meaningful message that the image of Lok Sabha members that is going outside Parliament is not very good. That doesn't augur well for parliamentary democracy. And as you've mentioned, there are important bills. There's a bill for regulation of surrogacy, and there's also a very important National Medical Commission bill. Remember, the Cabinet has already approved amendments in the bill, and according to the amendments, the final exam of the MBBS would be treated as a common exam, and there are stringent punishment for the quacks and also the unqualified doctors. So certainly a very important bill in the Lok Sabha today, and we have to see whether the stalemate remains in the House or the House conducts business. Aishwarya?
Right. Of course, much will depend on whether the House, both the Houses rather, conduct business today. Thank you so much, Akriti, for all those updates there. And Union Minister Maneka Gandhi is slated to move the Trafficking of Persons Prevention, Protection and Rehabilitation Bill 2018 in the Rajya Sabha today. The bill seeks to prevent trafficking of persons, especially women and children. It also seeks to provide care, protection and rehabilitation to the victims of trafficking and to prosecute offenders. It provides for the establishment of investigation and rehabilitation authorities at the district, state and national level. Anti-trafficking unit will be established to rescue victims and to investigate cases of trafficking. It has been passed by the Lok Sabha. And HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar is slated to move the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Amendment Bill 2018 in the upper house. The bill seeks to further amend the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act of 2009. It has been passed by the Lok Sabha. And HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar is also slated to move the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2018 in the Rajya Sabha. The bill seeks to further amend the National Council for Teacher Education Act of 1993. This bill has also been passed by the Lok Sabha. And Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad is slated to move the Representation of the People Amendment Bill 2018 in the Rajya Sabha today. The bill seeks to further amend the Representation of the People Act 1950 and the Representation of the People Act 1951 to allow for proxy voting and to make certain provisions of the acts as gender neutral. This bill has also been passed by the Lok Sabha. And in the lower house today are the following bills. Health Minister JP Nadda is slated to move the Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2016. The bill seeks to constitute a National Surrogacy Board, state surrogacy boards and the appointment of appropriate authorities for the regulation of the practice and the process of surrogacy. And JP Nadda is also slated to move the National Medical Commission Bill 2017. The bill seeks to provide a medical education system that ensures the availability of adequate and high-quality medical professionals. It seeks to make a system that encourages medical profession to adopt latest medical research in their work and to contribute to the research and enforce high ethical standards in all aspects of medical services, among others. Ram Vilas Paswan is slated to move the Consumer Protection Bill 2018. The bill seeks to provide for the protection of the interest of consumers and to establish authorities for the timely and effective administration and settlement of consumers' disputes. Ravi Shankar Prasad is also slated to move the New Delhi International Arbitration Centre Bill 2018. And the following ministers will lay papers on the table in the Rajya Sabha today. Dharmendra Pradhan for the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Santosh Kumar Gangwar for the Ministry of Labour and Employment. Giriraj Singh for the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Vishnu Deosai for the Ministry of Steel. Hansraj Gangaram Mahir for the Ministry of Home Affairs. And Kiran Rijiju for the Ministry of Home Affairs as well. Ajay Tamta for the Ministry of Textiles. And C.R. Chaudhary for the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And the following questions will be raised in the Rajya Sabha, for which ministers concerned will give oral replies. Here are a few of them. Sukhendu Shekhar Roy will ask the Minister of Civil Aviation how many cities or towns in West Bengal have been included in the Udan scheme to facilitate air connectivity. B.K. Hari Prasad will ask the Minister of Labour and Employment whether it is a fact that not even 50% of the total number of trained persons under the skill development in various ministries got jobs. Shanta Chetri's question will be to the Minister of Home Affairs whether it is a fact that the integrated action plan for broad coordinated operations aimed at dealing with the Naxalite problem in all the affected states, including West Bengal, have borne positive results. Vikas Mahatme will ask the Minister of Commerce and Industry the criteria that was used by government in the recently released industrial park rating system to access the quality of infrastructure in the industrial parks and the details thereof. Ami Yajnik's question will be to the Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas. She will ask whether the government has any proposal to set up a piped natural gas network on a large scale in the near future. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Today in Parliament. Do stay tuned. The proceedings of the Upper House are going to begin in a short while from now, right at 11 a.m. Thanks for watching.